Hello, sports fans from around the world. This is the one you've been waiting for, the NRL SuperCoach BDE Podcast. We are draft experts. A week recovered after the flu and feeling energetic. Simon, welcome back to the potty, mate. It's great to have you.
Well, it's very good to be here, mate. This is the first buy round, and there is nothing better than going through these scummers that we're about to go through tonight just to get people wins. It's the best.
Oh, mate. Just as a little sneak preview, listeners, thank you for tuning in. There will be the mention of the well-famed Cecil Wanga line. It's getting a run tonight. Been around for a long time, Simon. I think it's time it comes back.
It's been around a long time, and it's how long is Cecil going to be out of the league for now? It'd have to be 10 years, right?
It's a hot minute, mate.
So it's going to need some explanation, that's for sure.
It is, but I tell you what, I've got the listeners on tenterhooks, mate, waiting for it. Just you can hear them. The slug he's gone with. Yes.
We'll say quickly, mate, before we go on to the slug, like any listeners out there that know what the Cecil Wanga line is, like credit to you guys for sticking with us we have to be 10 years. Good luck, like that's pretty good.
I love how you're pretending we haven't brought it up every year for the last 10. But hey, anyway.
Yeah.
The slug, formerly known as Tionda the Sexy Man, now just is known for his wonderful phallus. How are you, sir?
Yeah, mate. I'm well endowed. No, I'm good, mate. Yeah, I'm happy to be here and ready to talk some round 12. Exciting time with Origin around the corner, so looking forward to it.
Quite a buzz amongst our female audience. LGBTIQA plus community went wild over the comments of you and your slug as well, mate. So good on you. The news is out there.
That's fair, mate.
All right. Good stuff. Now, as promised, we're going to, as every year really, we dive in, pretend to offer our expertise on the state of origin sides as their name. So just want to open it up tonight, boys, to talk about those players who are playing origin. G'day, Cal. Cal says g'day. Good stuff, mate. Welcome aboard.
Hey, Cal.
G'day, Cal. All right. What I thought we might do, lads, the relevance to bringing up the origin teams is going to be around who is droppable if you need a win in a buy. Because let's be real, anyone who's listening to our potty this week is going to be thinking about buys. If you're just bloody keen on your draft sports, then we love you as well. So, before we get into that, Meso, one of our absolute regulars. Hello, sir. G'day, Meso. Happy TLT, boys. Can't listen in live. Just wanted to brag that I drafted in Xavier Savage, who was languishing on free agents for Bostock 15 minutes before the Fids game. Premiership coming my way. Humble brag, you have nailed that, sir. That's good from you. He's looking for a guest spot, I think. It's going good for Meso. All right. The Queensland site, I'm going to start because you and I, we are Queensland fans when it comes to Origin. Yes, I know I've got the Mighty Knights kit on, but I am, like State of Origin, born in Queensland. So, talk me through it, Simo. What do you like? What do you not like?
Oh, geez, a lot not to like. There's a lot not to like. I guess I'll start with the likes. I think Fermor deserves his spot. I think as the process wore on, I think he became like it started off as a dark horse, but then as it went on, he just became more and more solidified as one of the best 17 players in Queensland. So well done to him making his debut. But for me, the big one's always going to be on Trent Liero. I've been pretty outspoken on Liero on the podcast, especially as a real life player. He's been all right for fantasy this year, we must say. But
he actually has.
Real life, I think just to say that he's an Origin caliber player at this day and age is a bit crazy to me. I don't know. There's just pretty much everyone on the bench outside of Tommy Dearden, and I'm just looking at going, and obviously Fermor, but I sort of look at it as if Fermor will probably end up starting the game, and then maybe Nanai comes on.
Yep.
So
I think Connor should.
What sort of way I catch myself?
I think Connor's a better bench rotation. Personally, I prefer him as someone who can cover rotate through the middle, move to an edge if needed, similar to Tommy Gilbert. If he'd have been I think it's better that Gilbert's not selected on an edge. Simo going to come. It's not better for Queensland that he's not there. Don't get me wrong, but Gilbert playing on an edge does not help Queensland win an Origin game. No way.
No, the thing is though, what you or I might think is obviously different because Billy Slater has shown that he's played Ruben Cotter on an edge in Origin at least the last 4 Origins. I think there was one he was named to start at front row and ended up playing edge the whole time too. So for whatever reason, Billy Slater loves to have Cotter on an edge playing pretty decent minutes too. So we'll see if that holds true. But I don't know, mate. Jesse Arthur's in the team and Kurt Mann. Like, Kurt Mann's deserving of a Maroons jersey, I guess. But Jesse Arthur's in a Maroons camp seems a bit weird to me. But anyway, lot to discuss. I guess we're just going to hang our hats on the fact that we do still have, Munster, DCE, Grant and Ponga. Like, that's an elite spine in anyone's book. So, if the Fords can do a job, which remains to be seen, we'll see. But that New South Wales back five is just that's just we could be tired trying to just stop them. So that's pretty scary. So anything from you, Redford?
Yeah, so I agree. I've already said what I think. Fermor to start would look pretty good to me on an edge. I actually like Fermor and Nanai to actually offer a bit in attack, which I think we're going to need against this team. And Fermor defensively is good enough, and Nanai's put effort in recently. So I like that. Mofot, Tino, and Carrigan. I've been very vocal. I think Carrigan's better as a lock than an out-and-out front rower. I think I really like him there in that position for Queensland as well. It's not bad, mate. Lindsay Collins very underdone, and is he at the point of his career where he can't afford to have that much time out of the game? I would probably think so, and I'm going to throw Cal up there. Beautifully said. Horsburgh. Cal says Horsburgh. Love how he spelt that too. Getting snubbed by Liero is horseshit, but my draft team's a fan of it. That is beautifully made relevant, mate. One of the best wins. The Horsburgh owner getting an FRF at his level in a bye is just chef's kiss.
It's pretty fortunate.
It is.
Yeah, Collins or Liero, take your pick. I mean, Lindsay Collins has not been starting for the Roosters some games, and nor should he be. I think having him back there, one game off an MCL is crazy. But you got to say that he's one player though that when he puts the maroon jersey on, he's just a different beast. So. It'd be a tough drop, but do I think he should be there in form? Absolutely not.
No. Welcome to our listeners who've just logged in. Great to have you aboard. Just discussing the Queensland Origin team at present. Some SuperCoach relevance, of course, Corey Horsburgh being the big one who actually wasn't named, who's now relevant. I also just want to remind listeners, 12 months ago, almost to the days where I got flamed hard for Brendan Piakura being on the extended bench and really being offended by that. Get stuff those who had a crack at me because it's been proven pretty damn correct. Pinafuiaki, let's hope he's done. Oh, mate, that around Piakura is the one I've had to die on the hill with, so to speak, saying that I don't think he's it. So it's got to be right sometimes, Todza. Todza, the other one I want to ask you about Queensland quickly, mate, is I personally think Tommy Dearden as a utility is a little bit weird. I don't really get. I understand, and I promise you, Origin level player, great defensively. I don't want him playing in the middle as a 9 to sub Grant. I don't like it. I actually don't think that's a great position for him. He's more of the show and go guy on the edges that's looked pretty good this year. You either pick him to start or you just don't pick him and pick, someone. I know I think Bunt would have been there, I was going to imagine. But I just don't know about the 9, mate. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, firstly on Queensland, they're all grubs. But secondly, mate, with Tommy Dearden, it's an interesting one. I haven't seen him in a 14-year-old. Doesn't really have the body type to be a middle and play that hooker role. So I think it's like a whole lot of coverage there. He might get 10 minutes or so, maybe spell Grant. But boy, howdy, going in with Harry Grant, who's pretty underdone, and then only having Dearden there, it's a bit rough, eh?
Just reminding the listeners via chat here for those on the Spotify. Welcome to our Spotify listeners. He's a Kiwi, by the way. Just reminding you of that.
Bloody proud of it too, mate.
All right. Over to New South Wales. Todd's as our apparent New South Wales fan. We've been pretty vocal in this potty about Dylan Edwards. I tell you what, mate. He's got some coverage if he pulls up lame, but without Turbo there to genuinely back him up, Big Trail mid at Origin level at fullback would be a tall order if Dylan Edwards goes down. He's don't know if his lack of fitness is going to hold up at Origin level, but fair enough. If Edwards is fit enough, I suppose he's the incumbent. But I tell you what, mate, I, as a Queenslander, am pretty delighted to see him there and not Teddy.
Yeah, mate. Look, I thought that Teddy was the inform, but look, Dylan Edwards doesn't really put a foot wrong. He was there last year, pretty meat and potatoes. Like, he gets through his work. Look, I'm pretty happy with the squad. The only one that, I mean, everyone's talking about it. Everyone from here to bloody China. Like, my boy T May didn't get the selection and went with a Maxi King, which Maxi King's been good this year. Bit of a plotter, really. Like, off the bench, you got Spencer Leniu, Hudson Young. No, fucking plotter, mate.
That's
Hudson
so
Young, like, that's explosive. That's everything you want off the bench. Then Maxi King just doesn't tickle me. So I think Team A would have been better there, but that's it. And, you know, if Critter doesn't make it, I mean, the display that Campbell Graham had on the weekend, Sunday night, holy dooly. He just said, whatever Critter can do, I can do just as well, which is pretty cool. So, yeah, mate, exciting team. Like, Cleary and Moses in the halves, sort of saw that coming. Jerome Luai, a bit hard done by, but, you know, this is Origin. Like, this is where you want your best players. And I do think Mitchell Moses and Cleary will work well together. So, looking forward to it. I think we absolutely spank you guys,
Yeah, look, I may not completely disagree. I do think I'm going to challenge one thing. Max King is far from a plotter. I remember having a conversation with both you earlier in the year. Kid gets over the advantage line beautifully. He does have the fast play the ball and does have really good, just solid post contact with that quick play the ball is what they're after. Terrell made the turning and providing the offload. I don't really think New South Wales need it. I'm agreeing, I promise you, but playing devil's advocate, I can understand it to an extent. As long as the person picked was a Max King or some up-and-comer who's got a bit of something, if it had been Gerbo Todzer, that's when the picket fences come out and we all, rally against.
Yeah, I get it. What I didn't like about the whole Team A thing is that this week, it was defensive deficiencies. And then it goes out and tackles 63 tackles with no misses. Okay, where's the deficiencies there? Then it's, I like Max King's he made a play the ball on the line, then he got back in the line. Like, Team A did the exact same thing that same game. Like, he does all those little 1%ers. Origin isn't about just picking the blokes you want to have a piss up with. Like, you want to go in there and you want to absolutely smash Queensland. Like, I just think Laurie Daly's missed a trick.
I think missed a trick as well. How you don't pick Colin Matangi on the bench.
Oh, man, he was good. Hey.
Every back row, all the way through to lock. I think he was the pick for mine. I wouldn't have been able to avoid him. I think he is outstanding. I think he's a better player than Olakau'atu, personally. He's more well-rounded than Olakau'atu.
I can get behind that in this team, yeah. 100%.
Yeah. Just quickly, Simo, before I throw it to you about this side. Dom, hello, sir. Great to have you aboard. Curious why Terrell May wasn't selected, as we've been discussing. This is a bit I love. I guess New South Wales' dirty grub tactics sent Spencer on a knockout a few Queenslanders, or 10 in the bin. Probably both. I said that with attitude, Dom, and hopefully did you justice. You're right, mate. Dirty grubs just want to get sent off and just hurt us. Swally.
Oh, just hurt us, man. What are we playing here? Seriously, grow a set. You two, you and Dom, unbelievable.
They've got to wing it through duplicitous means. There's none of this honourable Queensland victories or losses, is there, Simo?
No, none of that. Keep that.
Hudson Young also
wait till the next one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, when we have to
energy, you guys, when it's 34-0.
Yeah, tail between legs. No, actually, I had some homework. Didn't watch it. Liam Martin, I love Liam Martin. I've been very vocal. I think Huddy Young is a little rough not to start with Liam Martin being the one to come off the bench, just for honouring the guy who's clearly been just the back rower of the league to start the season. Bit harsh.
You got to have a hierarchy there. Like, Liam Martin was Hudson Young 5 years ago. Like, once you went to stripes. Yeah.
I do. I like the idea. Even name him and then switch him on game day. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. Hudson Young, brilliant. Deserves to be there. Connor wants to pick himself. I'm actually not really. I get the Spencer Lee new selection because he's Origin ready and stuff. But again, I think more versatile. I'd love a Colin Matangi in there. I just think he could have been awesome.
So you've hit mate, Spencer Leniu, the amount of times he dropped the ball the other week off the kickoff, just trying to be aggressive. As a Queenslander, I'm all about him just having that style, because for everything he does good, he always does at least one, maybe two things to the negative. So you got to take the good and the bad with Spencer. And I've seen enough of him to think he won't be able to rein that in. So yeah, good pick for the Blues, but also a good pick for Queenslanders as well.
Agreed. Love it. All right. What I want to do now is just go through relevant players, hold or drop, boys. I'm going to just fire off rapid round here. I'm only going to include the ones that I know are somewhat debatable, right? At least that for a 10-team league plus. Also, Katie, your answer, if you think there's a qualifier, so say there's maybe a 14-team leaguer, like a deeper league, and you'd be like, oh, this is the Cesar Wangaline moment, boys, all right? So we're going to start it here. Okay. I cannot believe I'm going to say
line, mate?
the Cesar Wang. I'm glad you asked, Simon. I'm glad we rehearsed that, mate. Well done. The Cesar Wanga line is a line that Simo and I come up with a long time to describe. When
I had nothing to
a
do with it.
player should just... I'm good, mate. I'm happy to claim it. When a player should just be held onto. That was the side of it, right? Or just be dropped. Crap, now I've forgotten. It's one of the...
It's just wherever the border is, yeah.
It's the borderline. It's the above or below where you're genuinely like, uh-oh, I really would prefer not to drop this guy. Is there any other way? But if I need a win, can I just drop him? Right? Makes sense? And Cesar Wanga,
drop.
Todd's he always, back in the day, an average of 50 plus was not bad for a CT. Okay. And he was always agonizing between like 49 and 51. And you'd be like, oh, so there you go. B-Ball Man 107, welcome aboard, sir. Just got in at the end of the Origin chat. Do have some strong feelings, but wanted to ask a question. Let us know that strong feeling and fire away, sir. I'm going to start the Cesar Wanga line. Feel free to fire away with the question. All right. Todd, this one's for you, and I'm only saying it because it's an obvious answer. Xavier Coates.
Mate, please. I don't even answer.
Your preseason prediction ranking was like unders. It's been an absurd run. He's averaging 70 plus.
Imagine if he ends up where I messed it up. That'll be hilarious.
It's crazy.
He's so funny. I'm just bringing that clip up and I'm just playing it over and over again. That's our new intro song. Oh fuck, B-Ball, you. Nah, this is a joy.
Yes. So, B-Ball Man has said, how big is your slug? All about the work of the Todds on his bet. Watch his eyes. Burner account engaged. Okay, getting serious now. One that I think is definitely worth it. Simo, your turn. Robert Toya, Cesar Wanga line, where?
Oh, yeah, it's a really good one, isn't it? He's one that you'd want to, like, I would personally want to hold on to. I'd have to be in a position really late Sunday. If I knew that it was like drop him and I almost guaranteed a win, I'd probably do it. But yeah, he's an iffy one. He's like right on that line. So a tentative drop, but I would if I had to.
Todza, tough one given recent form in our discussion last week. Big Mo Fott.
Ooh. Fuck. If he's your FRF2, I think you could drop him, but I would not want to.
Yeah, the trend is so good, isn't it? Like, it's hard not to get on. I've got him as a hold. I think I just think you're giving up too much. Yeah, that was going to hurt.
That's
Here's
actually
what I
really
think. It is. Both Toya and him, I think, are pretty bloody close to Cesar Wanga. He's one I think is easily below the line. Ruben Cotter, Simo, gone. Bin.
Yeah,
see ya.
Easy. Yep. Actually, I have this situation in one league where he's on my bench and he'll be out to greener pastures for pretty much anyone who plays.
Nane Todza, this is another. I think this is a bit tricky.
Hold. Mad
Do you
upside.
agree, Simo?
Yeah, but here's another one. Like if you are low on you're low on your league's table, and the win means a lot to you, you know, I could see situations where you might need to, but if you're going, if you're in the finals already or you're up the top of the table, I'd be holding. But
man, if you're in that spot, like if you're towards the bottom of the table and you've got Jeremiah Nanite, try and piece him together with something and try and get something for this week. Like, don't just drop him. I think he's got way too much of a ceiling to just drop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tommy Dearden's shown a bit of form, and 5'8" is shallow, so I know that you know there could be an argument, but I think he's a hold. I'm going to answer this one, boys, because I am the Trent Liero owner, and he's been a bit of a saviour for me in a position where I was struggling. He's kind of a reluctant hold because I think the Storm buy schedule actually helps him. You know, he only misses the minimum, so I'm okay with that. So for me, given how valuable 2RF is, again, similar to Simo, if he's right on the line for me. So if he got to the end of a round, he needed a dub, yeah, probably, but you're probably not just getting him back easily. All right. New South Wales options. Just another couple of comments have come in. So our boy Marky Mark, have you seen how thick Toddy's head is? Just saying. Yep. Proof in the pudding. He's almost got a mushroom head on him, the Todder, to be fair.
Jeez, that's a lot of
Thank you, Marky. Yeah. Good from you. All right. Let's try and make it interesting. I think this is pretty straightforward. I'll start with you on this one, Todzer. Critter. Recent form has actually been quite good.
I think he's still a drop. If you need a win, I think he's a drop.
Yeah, good one. Mitch Barnett, Simo, actually hasn't really been lighting it up. A little bit of a form turnaround.
Oh, he'd be a hold for mine pretty easily. I think the last couple of weeks have sort of seen him really, and I honestly do think Origin will be good for him as well. I imagine his scores will be on the up and up, so he'd be one. I'd feel so disgusting even considering dropping him.
Yeah, I think the two we've said so far, Nane and Barnett, if you're in a position where you think you may need and they're not your most valuable asset, try and look for a trade for a team that isn't trying to win this bye week. I'd be pushing pretty hard because you'll get people interested, particularly in Barnett, I think. Liam Martin is probably a very deep leaguer, and I think even there he's droppable. It's just not been his season. Penrith could turn it on, but he's not going to be someone we put a high waiver claim on for. So pretty straightforward. Connor Watson, obviously you're not dropping. Spencer Leniu, you won't own even in 14-team leagues. Hardy Young, not dropping. Max King, not dropping. 18th man, so Kurt Mann. I'll
drop him, mate.
Kurt Mann.
I'll drop him this week.
I presume he will be 18th because he just makes sense. Finifuyaki apparently goes back, so that's good for owners. He might hit some upside one week, ever. Obviously, Gilbert's injury just locks in him and a certain player we're going to discuss tonight in detail.
Yeah. Even just an offload would be nice from Finifuyaki. Just some
just
sort of attacking stat.
an ineffective offload, Simo. It just doesn't
just anything. Yeah, just dump one. We've actually got 3 more names on Twitter as well, boys. So
yes, sir.
Let me know when you're done with your
beautiful. Yeah, mate. Far away.
AJ Brimson.
Wonderful raise. Easy hold on the basis of some fullback selection. Jonathan de Groot. Go on.
Or Jaden.
Or Jonathan.
Is this another? This is an Ethan. This is an Ethan thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh God. I've fallen apart.
Who's the Jermaine that always gets a run?
Oh, come on. I know it's Dream the Dream Buller. I'm just going to say
Jerome
Dream the Dream. No, I never said that. Never said it. Don't talk about
Dream Luai. Jerome Buller.
Keep going. These are good.
Jerry Marshall King. James K.
Drop.
That's drop for that is. I would try hard not to try and see if an owner just is buying on a name, but drop.
Yeah, I think he's a drop as well. Dolphins have the bye next week as well, so you got
rough.
If he's your only hooker, you probably just go look for someone else. And Selwyn Cobbo, a bit of a spicy one.
Ooh,
Todzer, how about it?
How long's the injury for? 5 weeks?
Is he 5 weeks? I wasn't sure if he got cleared, didn't he?
I don't think Selwyn's injured, is he? I didn't see that.
I think he's all right.
So, well, if he's not injured, it's a hole.
Do you boys think he's an interesting non-origin selection where they could have put Holmes in the middle and Cobbo to the wing? I do.
Yeah, I think what was tricky was that when Billy named that team, I think Cobbo was looking at being out for ages. It's no excuse for not having him in the squad somewhere. Like he should have at least been in the 20
over Jesse Arthurs.
Something doesn't sit right with Cobbo. Like he got weirdly dropped last year too, and there was a few comments from Billy Slater. So there's a bit of the Dave for feeders about it.
He does have that sort of air about him. Yeah, where I think he's hard done by Simo if he was in in fact fit. Oh, we will get Cal and Dom both have the same question. I promise I'll get to you guys next. It does have that vibe to it, Simo, but I think where he showed that he could play was his effort as a fullback. You know how hard he was running the ball back? It's the most impetus I've seen him have. I thought he actually looked like he worked himself into, hey, boys, like I actually can run the ball with a high work rate. Pick me. I think he's super hard done by here, personally.
Well, he's one of the few backs that Queensland have that can get him out of trouble. Like, you look at New South Wales, To'o, Lomax, Edwards, they're going to all have one run every set.
Scary.
Cobbo's just got that big body that just doesn't get driven back. Like, I can see that's where a big weakness is for Queensland. Like Ponga's not big. Yes, he's elusive, but he's not big. Xavier Coates is big, but isn't, because he's so tall, he's not really going to sort of push through the line on kick returns. He can get driven back. And there'll be no different with Val Holmes. So,
Yep.
Real weird one. I've always been a big Cobbo fan for Origin. I think he's really he has special touches, and that's what you need.
Especially at Suncorp, Simo. I actually really like the idea at home. I think he gets on it, feels comfortable. Really good one here from Dom. And so Dom says, Isaiah Papali'i. Cal has seconded it, and I love that he's used the Cesar Wonga line, IPAP ? New FRF dual handy. My question to both of you is, Sorensen, how far away is he just to mess that all up?
I believe he's got one more week left on his suspension, because I know there was a lot of Panthers people who follow that were saying that how costly it was that he fought that charge and then missed out, because that extra week is now the Origin week where they're really low on leaders and experience. So pretty costly one. So I'm pretty sure he'll be back next week, Scotty boy.
Now, just checking. So just one of the sources I have here, Simo, we might want to check this. It does say that there's no sign of him. Yeah, Dom's come up with it here. I think this is the reason for the raise. I just saw that as well, Dom, that apparently even though he has he's finished his suspension, Simo, he's not been named.
Is that right?
So that's very interesting. So with that in mind, there's obviously a chance there that IPAP sits there on an edge. If it's only a short-term injury, he could come back into an edge. Because Sorensen is, hasn't looked that great, let's be perfectly honest. And IPAP has added something for them.
IPAP is an easy drop for me this week if you need to win.
Okay.
Yeah, I think with Sorensen back next week and IPAP not being named this week, it's pretty easy to drop.
I think it's because of the uncertainty around Sorensen is why Dom's bringing it up. I can see it. I would try, because I get the appeal of that elusive FRF too. Dom, that's right. IPAP not playing because he has a knee injury. I don't know the severity of the knee injury. If it's a really minor one and there's a chance he's back next week, I could see an argument to try and hold to the very end. Otherwise, I agree with Todd, drop. Beautiful.
Yep.
All right. Boys, that was good fun. The Cesar Wonga line. No more from you, Simo. None on FB.
None on the book of
No,
face,
there's just the three. No, I'm trying to. I think you've covered off a lot of good names there. Like, a lot of players below that are pretty easy drops. Like, I think the Cotter one was good. Just I guess you're just going to make a decision early in the week. Like, are you someone that, and even tonight, to be honest, like pre-waivers, you really want to know what you're doing if you're having a red hot cracker, if you're not. So, because every move you make from here on in, whether it's a trade negotiation or a waiver claim, free agent pickup, whatever, you just want to be clear and have that mindset, knowing what you're doing this week, because it's sometimes you might need to think on the run, because occasionally you might get your opponent might leave the door ajar as well. So you got to keep your finger on the pulse a bit there. But I love Razzle. What a good bloke.
I think Razzle, I'll be perfectly honest, I think I've been stitched up severely here. There's no chance I wasn't the hardest sell on Ezra Mam. Razzle, prove your work, son. Apparently, Simo, you sexy dog, you convinced on Mam claim back in 7. I'm going to watch the tape back, and I'm sure I'm going to own this one. But anyway, he was outstanding, boys. How good did he look? You're not dropping Ezra Mam.
Come on, Red Man.
Red Sun, I believe it is, mate. Red Sun.
Old Red Sun.
Mam looked outstanding and hungry. Credit to him that if you want to come back and shut up the haters, so to speak, of which it's pretty easy to do, perform as well as that and give the Broncos a chance. When Reece Walsh and Bunt are their boys, as we've said, I think you want to be on some Broncos on the run home. I'm sticking with it, not changing it. It's going to be pretty good.
Bloody good pick up by you there, Razzle. Yeah. Yeah.
What a stitch up. That is an absolute stitch up. There is the Simon Burner account. Love it. All right. Bulldogs team for this week.
Sorry,
obviously.
Speaking of stitch ups, have you seen the Origin bunker official?
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen who it is, Toddy?
No,
tell me.
No. If not. You say
there's two names. There's two names here. It's not, is it?
It's the male version.
It's Ashley Klein. Christopher Butler's got a run in the booth. Is Klein the head ref? Or did G finally get?
No. Klein got it.
So G, who literally is, if you looked at accuracy of decisions being made, I've said this before on this body, but there was some decisions that Adam G was making on the weekend, which just like you go, oh yeah, surprise, surprise, who made that decision live and got it right? There you go, Ashley Klein. Oh my god! All right, good luck with that. Okay, on to the Bulldogs team, lads. So Bulldogs v the Finns. Just going to list some names that I want to know. Are they 1 week specials? Because that's really all we're looking at here if you need a dub. So, Blake Wilson, yes or no?
Yes.
Todza?
Yes.
Blake Taff, Simo?
No. Sorry.
I think he's fullback only, so definitely not.
He is. Yep. Marcelo Montoya?
If you have to, but not keen. Yeah, if you have to. See, a lot of these guys we say, like, it is just one of those crazy weeks, these buy rounds, where you're literally just scouring for numbers. But I think the big thing with Montoya, and this is more of a strategy chat, it's like if you're going to settle for a guy like him who's not really going to move the needle in terms of your keenness to start him in terms of a matchup play, I hate playing guys on the first game of the week if that's how I view them. Like, unless there's someone who I'm really confident in starting, then sure, go for it. But a guy like Montoya and even Wilson to some extent too, like, I'd rather just try and pick a CTW in a later game just so I can see how my matchup's going. Because it can just change the way you view things and might just change your decisions a little bit. So, I wouldn't want to leave it to the last game of the round, but definitely not playing these guys game one.
Speaking of changed decisions and opinions, agreed with both you lads that Joshy Curran was likely to come back in on an edge, but with obviously the surprise selection of Max King, Harry Hayes gets a stay of execution. Is this potentially a genuine waiver, or do you think with Max King returning, no good, Tots?
I don't love it with King returning. I wouldn't be playing. Like, I would have been in the top claim on Hayes.
Because Saluka Fafita is also only out with concussion. I'm going to throw...
He's going to be back next week too.
Preston's one more? Yeah.
One more?
Throwing it out there, brutal blow for the Kiraz owners who sat through the start of the season. Might have started off rough. Now sort of made a bit of a push because Kiraz has been amazing. What are you doing here, lads? Because you probably... sure, you want to hang on. He's an elite CTW. He's clearly well entrenched in the top 5. But I tell you what, you might be in a bit of strife again. Going to be out for a while. Bye period's terrible. He might not be back to the end of the bye period, right? He's a guy you could trade for decent return here. And I'm going to say it, I think he's a guy that is very tradable. Go get a high-scoring CTW and pair him with something else to try and just keep yourself going. Agree, gentlemen?
Try and get Nwanga Nikawasi and something else that really helps you.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that a lot.
You're not going to do it one for one, but yeah, if you can get Marky Mark plus a really good piece, that's a trade you could look at potentially.
Yep. Bailey Hayward, fine 1 week. Sorry, mate.
I was just trying to think out loud of other elite CTWs that who are playing this week that you might be able to trade. You might be able to trade Kiraz for.
Militalo plus. I'm not saying he's elite, but he can give you a high try scoring option. Average isn't that great. I think you probably moved the needle there. Could keep you in it.
Yeah. I mean, you're probably not going to get Eero. Maybe you could get Eero, but I'm not sure why the Eero owner would bother. Yeah. Tough one.
Tough one. All right. Moving on to the mighty Finns, Jake Averillo, who has been strangely Supercoach relevant this year, comes in to play fullback against the Dogs. Todd, he's a genuine one who can have rest of season value potentially. Is it worth a low end claim just to secure him as he's still out there? You are muted for the first time we've been running this, Todd. Sorry, Slug.
Sorry, boys. Housemate went past. Yeah, dude, I love Jake Averillo. I think he's got the rest of the season value as a 4 or 5 guy. He can plug and play. So picking him up this week is perfectly fine.
Yep, you can potentially run Bostock as well if you want to. But there is a genuine waiver claim here, lads. He would have been dropped in a few leagues. With the unfortunate injury to Gilbert, hats off to the poor man. Third massive injury in recent times. That's just horrible. And maybe when he comes back, the coach can actually play him in the middle where he excels. Just throwing it out there. But Connolly Lemuelu, we've said him plenty. The time is now. If he is out there, I think he is the absolute easiest number one claim this week. I would spend quite a lot. I actually think he's really quite good. Any disagreement, lads?
Not because he's probably, he's one of the only guys this week that have long-term staying power. And if you can have guys that are going to be good starts this week, or in this case, great start this week, and then have rest of season value as well, it's just an added bonus. So that's sort of where the parameters are for what justifies like a top 3 claim in a week like this. So yeah, I'm all for Connolly as a high-end waiver this week for sure.
Yeah, it could be the gift. If you've sat on your waivers and your 2RF needy and the buy win, he's an easy one for all of us, I think. All right, Parramatta versus the Manly Seagulls. Shout out to Gerbo. Horrible, sickening concussion. Hopefully he is doing okay. It's an interesting game with Turbo, like a half-fit Turbo actually playing. Not quite sure how I feel about this team. I think Turbo's a mission, by the way, lads, should mention. It's good for Supercoach, of course, but how good is it? Because he is playing very injured. He does not look right. Todza?
Yeah, it's not great for Turbo, hey. Like, he just looks so underdone, hey, and it's just sad to see.
Is he a buy low, Todd? We haven't really mentioned that yet. With him actually playing a few weeks.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to... Yeah, you'd say yes as a buy low because he's underperforming gun. We've seen it fast, but he just doesn't look right to me at all. And with Tommy Turbo, because the name holds quite a lot of value, you're going to pay up a little bit just to keep him, to get him, sorry. I just don't think it works out. He looks way too underdone for me, but like typically we should be saying it's a massive buy low, and it probably is, but it's not a play that I'm going to be doing.
Yeah, not for me.
Yeah, it's a tough one because he looks horrid, but he has this massive ceiling. So, what about you? You're a Turbo guy. Buy low?
I am a Turbo guy. I do own him in one league out there. So yeah, I'm very, as all Turbo owners are who play the buys, we're all very happy to be walking into a free. Even a hobbled Turbo is still going to be a bloody good start in a buy round against Parramatta without Moses and Lomax. I mean, it's a pretty good situation this week, but I'd be pretty open to trading him if anyone's sort of willing to give me pretty good value for a guy that it all depends on that position, I guess. Like the league I own him in, I've done quite well, so I'm sitting at the top of the table with a win in my back pocket, so I don't need to be selling him. But if I was sort of outside the finals looking in, it's just so tricky because you need the win, so you're probably going to want to hold him. But in saying that, I think the play probably is to maybe try and have your cake and eat it too. Keep him this week. If he puts up a good score, maybe look to sell him next week. Because next week's also a bit of a tricky buy round as well. So maybe try and move off him then if you can get something that you really like. But I kind of have the same sentiments as you, Todd. Like I don't think, just looking at him running around out there, it doesn't look like he's going to reach the ceiling that like a typical Turbo would have. I think we're looking at probably a 75% Turbo as his ceiling this year. So, he can still get back to that and be a bloody good Supercoach asset. But, yeah, in terms of like where you are in the ladder is going to change a lot depending on where you're going to or what you're going to look to get for a guy like him.
Brains it this week, and then of course you have the fact he may end up playing in Origin for any of the positions. He could play centre or wing, or potentially even fullback if any injuries strike as well. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. If he was super successful, that trade could be really good for you after this week. Good shout, Timo. Burbo, a Burbo sighting, boys. Scored a ton. Got to mention him when they hit the tons. Sign of things to come surely. And Simo, you were right all along, old son. He's a stud. He's the best of the Trebojevic brothers. Jeez, we talk about him too much on this potty. I'm sorry, listeners. Making our way through. Manly have a whole heap of players that I think are kind of sitting in the you can start them if you want to try and grind yourself together like a 40 to 50, but not super inspiring for mine. Tolo Cooler, keep on keeping on, baby. Love your work. See, Jake Simpkin, I would have been very interested there if it hadn't been for Croker being named on the Pine. I think that would have been a really good one, but just can't go there. Can you run up Juzel Jazz, Simo, for a week?
Yeah, the old Utah Jazz. Look, when he played 13 when Gerbo was out last time, he scored like a 60-odd, 63.
He did.
So it looked pretty good. I'm just a little concerned, I guess, with some of these guys on the bench. I'm not sure if he'll get the same minutes he got. He'll be a pretty solid, like 45 to 50, like a low 50, like 53. Pretty solid hooking option this week for the people that need it. But like a real sort of middling kind of start. But still, like I think he should be starting a lot of leagues in this bye round. Though I will say that because he's going to be pretty safe to get that sort of solid score.
For the Kelma Tuolangi truthers, of which there is only half of me, has been named to start. So shove that up your todder. Right back into the side, mate. 60 of the best fumbly, nearly injury-prone minutes. But I tell you what, I would absolutely free agent pick up and start Kelma Tuolangi in this Parramatta team. I am fine with that. That's probably not one of the worst one-week plays that actually could have rest of season. Just heartache sort of territory. Rest of season. I apologize. I did miss a comment. I've got a couple. One, Dom from you and Razzle. I will bring those up when we get to those team analysis, lads. So patience, please. Barkey has brought up Ash Klein is the VD you just can't get under control. That is Jesus. That is salacious work from Marky. Cop that, Ash Klein. Just would be happy if you refereed well, old son. All right. To the Panthers and this question from Dom. Now, I want to issue a word of caution because we have got this one wrong earlier in the year. Dane Laurie's a talented player. He did not do that well when Dylan Edwards was injured at the start. And so there's an element of caution with this one, Todzer. Surely, against my Knights, depleted Knights, I think this has got to be a green light 1 week special that could almost be, if you really want to get the win, surely he hits the upside he has in previous seasons.
Yeah, he's going to have to do it all on his own with Snyder and Talangi. Like, I don't know. I just feel like it's going to be a lot like the earlier season. But we've seen Dane Laurie, just be unreal when he's been on the field. So I definitely would say if he's out there and you need a fullback, pick him up because there's every chance he goes for 120. It's just what we saw earlier on the year. It was a bit rough when Cleary wasn't there. So, look, he's a massive upside play.
So, I apologize I'm not all over this, but I don't believe Penrith have the 13 bye either, do they? They're in the major bye rounds. The reason Dane Laurie, he could have 2 week relevance. That's the other one for me. Of all the players that are a chance of not backing up, I think Dylan Edwards would be way at the top of my list. So I think a low-end claim for potentially 2 weeks of decency from Dane Laurie is not the worst shout. Simo, sound about?
Yep. Yeah, look, I love Dane Laurie as a player this week. He's got upside coming out the balls. With next week though, just one thing to be mindful of: if you're starting Laurie but you don't have Edwards, I believe the Panthers have the last game, or at least have a Sunday game in week 13. So they've got the long turnaround after Origin. So if you don't own Edwards but you do have pick up Laurie for this week, you might have to make a tough choice. Let's say Edwards does get named to back up, then ends up not. Could be a little bit awkward, but it's not going to stop you from this week. It's just all systems go. Pick up Dane Laurie, start him in your fullback spot, start him in your flex. Like, it's too much upside to ignore.
All right. I'll get to your question shortly, Russell. Todd, do you want to feel this one from John 100?
Nah, John can jog on.
Greg Inglis is going to carry the Rabbits against the Warriors. Look, that would be delightful to wind back the clock. If he was fit for Origin, straight in there over Robert Toya. Happy with that one. Good on you, John. Got that Warriors too. Love it.
Yeah.
So the rest of this side, there are some just 1 week specials potentially. Brad Schneider's one you usually avoid, but he's actually hit a bit of SuperCoach upside previously. I think the other obvious one would be Tom Jenkins with To'o, back, potentially backing up being late in the round, but obviously with this recent injury, he could be another one. Tots?
Yeah, 100%. Jenkins pretty good. Yeah.
Casey McLean can jog on. I'm just not a fan. He'll go out and brain him now because I've said that. But it kind of is a green light for all those backs because it's the Knights. Like they're just offering almost nothing. So
0.
All right. Luke Garner is an easy one, boys. Very, very easy start this week. I really like it. He obviously got subbed last week from the centres, but he'll get the minutes.
If he was playing, I'd play him.
Yeah, this is an interesting one actually because he's on NRL.com. I believe he wasn't named, and there's been a lot of people commenting saying he's not playing, but he actually is named in the number 11.
Yeah, that's what I've got.
I've got Preston Ricky there. Interesting.
Yeah,
there's been a lot of confusion over it. So
there you go.
Yeah,
I believe it's been a mistake.
Fair play. I wasn't aware. I mean, he did get subbed, so maybe there was maybe people read into that. But yeah, fair enough though, Todd. You saw that, mate. I think. But if he's playing, he's an easy green light, boys. He's probably owned already. But if he's out there, it's good stuff. And I think he holds his centre spot. I don't see any reason why he wouldn't going forward, right?
He's been good defensively. They've definitely shored that side up. That's for sure.
Yeah. All right. Moving on forward. Interesting one there for Cleary owners as well there, Simo in particular, with a red hot chance he actually backs up being late in the round. So good shout from you there, mate. Over to the Knights. Fletcher Sharp playing number one's got to warm the cockles of your heart, Todzer, as a Sharp.
I'm excited to see that.
Actually, well.
Yeah.
Also, Dylan Lucas owners. So if anyone was ballsy enough to do a buy low on Dylan Lucas thinking he may end up staying in the centres, I know there'll be some reversal of some early classic trade ideas to punt him. Is named on an edge, but it is still, it's not a great halves combo, funnily enough. Gamble and Cogger. Hello.
There's some guys that try hard.
Gamble. Oh, boy, was that a hard watch on the weekend. Jesus. I don't recall him being that rough. That was super rough to watch. Jesus. Look, I'm just smiling deliriously now, boys, about my Knights. It's just everything's hunky-dory. Keep on losing until we can move on.
Will Price let him go? Yep, it's fine. Back to England, son.
Please don't. Simon, come on. Mate.
He clearly had no talent, Simon.
He was homesick.
I don't care how bad a defender he was, like just an ability to create anything in half of football. Leo Thompson's back. Lads, a strong advice to have hung on to him. If he's been dropped, he is an easy waiver claim as an FRF2, just thrown out there. Very, very easy one. We missed him badly. He's a really good player. All right. Kai Pearce-Paul, the about face that I've had on his career. Tigers, you are welcome. We'll pay you a little bit of his fee even to leave. I have no problem. I do not think that offloading that looks like he should be able to do just has not eventuated. Like, where is it? It doesn't happen. So, see, bud.
I reckon if he goes to any other team, he's an absolute killer. Hey,
maybe. I'm pretty happy with Thomas Cant playing on an edge for us going in the future if we can save a bit of money and actually buy someone else to help Brown and KP.
A new coach.
Yeah. Well, $2 million apparently. If we can get $2 million off the books, we can balance the firing fee that has been.
Is that what it is? AOB's $2 million.
Apparently. On to exciting news for those who've hung on to Dom Young. I don't want to talk about it anymore, Todd. Stop laughing. Dom Young has returned. You fire him up this week if you've hung on. It is not a sign of anything good, though. He's not in favour. It's not changing anytime soon. Apparently, my Knights just can't even. They're even hurting other teams. That's how bad they're running. They've hit him up. They've hit him up and gone nowhere. Cal with a really good question here. Captaincy is obviously an option in his league. BC on Sharp, Alamotti or Blaze. Leading Alamotti with G King versus Decimated Knights left, but Sharp FB is very hard to ignore. We appear to have lost poor Simo recently, but yeah, if you want to check Messenger while I'm setting this up, please, mate, that'd be great. I understand the Alamotti with the goal kicking, Tots.
Yeah,
that's not horrible.
He's been decent enough. But,
I'll take Alamotti personally for that reason.
Easy Sharp for me there.
Good shout, mate. You're probably right, but I think that's the order we're going with, though. Shout to Blaze that he's even in the combo. He's been really good. So good luck with that one, Cal. Just be sure that you just whatever. If a decision goes well, make sure you thank Simo and not myself. So cool. Not bitter at all, Razzle. Thanks, mate. Nawanga Waze. I'm just going to call it. That is. Some have said it's their favorite try they've seen. Whether that means best, I don't know. But amazing put down. Watching people on the videos try and kick it to themselves like that, Todd's, was just outstanding.
I used to put a few of those away in the backyard, mate.
Yeah, mate. Yes, I believe you to brain them. You do some good things.
That was impressive, hey. Very impressive.
Todd, sorry, I don't know how you keep balance with the slug you got, mate. To be tough stuff.
That's what I'm kicking it with.
Yeah, on you, Cal. Good luck, mate. Cal says cheers, guys. All right, mate. Zach Docker Clay as a 1 week play. I really like. That's an easy get behind for me.
Easy.
It is tough, mate, because it is against nearly this is virtually a full strength Sharks side. So it's not an absolute walkover here, but you've still got Teddy there. You've got Sandon and Savala. They've still got
backline's still a very good backline. They'll be competitive. Yeah. It'd just be whether the forwards match up. There's a few young guys in there.
Yeah, that's right.
That just may not have the ticket for it. But look, man, they've backed these young guys in. Letting people go. They've backed these young guys in. They're good young guys. So it'll be interesting to see. It's a big test against is that pretty much a full strength Sharks team? Yeah.
Pretty much, mate, with Jesse Ramian surviving with the eye poke. Good to see him in there. Shame Stone Street, unfortunately, who we recommended last week. You don't win them all. Got injured. Tough stuff. Now, a really good question here. Back to you, Razzle. Only having a bit of fun with you, mate, with the recommendation. So, Razzle has asked, drop Hayes for Hiroti. Now, that's a fantastic question, Tots. Yeah, that's close.
Really close. I would just, in terms of Hiroti, probably has some rest of season value. How far away is Katoa? That's the only issue. I can't see anything about Katoa's
injury. 4 or 5 months, mate. He's always long term.
Aussie long term. There you go. Yeah, I think it's pick up Hiroti and drop Hayes just for rest of season value. Because
Hayes obviously plays this week, mate. Right? That's the thing. He plays this week, and I think that's the if you could drop someone else, obviously Razzle, but we don't know the rest of your side. I kind of like both names this week. They're both
this week I love. Yeah, so I'm saying, but rest of season Hiroti's got a little bit more value, I think.
He does, and he's always shown, mate, when he gets picked on a wing, the kid scores tries. He's really fast. He's always been a burner. So really good shout, Razzle. Good luck in getting Hiroti. So it is. I still think that, points, mate, there should be points in this one. I can't see why not. So you are starting Hiroti, obviously. Kennedy, hopefully, to bounce back. I would be absolutely terrified to play Adam Fanua-Blake this week. God help you if you come up against the big fella against that forward pack. It could be an absolute banana fest. It's ridiculous. Britton Nickera. I want to bring him up as a potential buy low, Todd. It's a shame Simo had to duck out, mate. He's got to be on the list because he has been severely underperforming. What are your thoughts?
Look, I don't think he's been last week was a bit of a Barry Crocker, but a couple of scores before that in the 70s. It hasn't been that try scoring, tackle breaking season we saw last year before. But I just think if you're an owner, I think he's a massive hold. I wouldn't be trading him away. He's got that huge upside. Nico's starting to look a lot better now. I think he's a hold. I don't think there's too much of a buy low there just because of the name as well. He's such a gun.
I don't know, mate. I think that potentially if you've got an owner out there who's not really a chance of winning this week, right? So they're not going for the win, or you don't play the buys. I think Britton Nickera is a really good buy low. I think there'll be people out there a bit annoyed that it just hasn't lit up for him this year. He's been unders, mate, relative to his draft position.
Oh, yeah. What is he averaging?
Really gettable.
56 or something like that. 55,
pretty low.
56, which is pretty low for him. But I just think that this Sharks team is about to come good. Those last couple of weeks, Nico started to really, really fire. And I think that
he looks great.
Nico has always been that guy that's run those sick lines, and he just hasn't been getting the ball this year, and that's okay. It's just
it is you. I love when I ask you these questions because for players you love, you just assume you're the owner. I meant the other way, the other side. Buy low, not necessarily just not the guy who owns him. Yes, you'd be going after him for sure. Exactly.
I'm always just like, leave my players alone. You do.
You do it every time, and I'm trying to convince him, listeners, that you can be the buyer as well.
Smart,
but anyway,
all
good, buddy. All good. We got you. Now, big Kiwi Nick, haven't heard from him since some Halasima questions a few weeks ago. Big Kiwi Nick, all the way from South Korea, says, "Hey boys, I missed your Origin chat, but look at that Queensland team. It is amazing. GG too easy for them, so I chucked 10k AUD on them. Good move, eh? Simo?
Yes.
What language are we speaking here, boys? I've just been disconnected
Korean.
Big Kiwi Nick from South Korea. Big fan of the mighty Hanwha Eagles over there in South Korea. He's trending, boys, so be nice to this guy.
Is this the Richard Villasanti truther? Or
it is the Villasanti truther, Halasima Villasanti. Just for those, we've got a bit of a celebrity here. He posted on Insta, I think it is, being at one of the baseball games, and he has over 20,000 views and likes. The kid, he's exploding. He's trending. So we'll give him some love. Big Kiwi Nick, if it's bad, I'll double down on Ron Chopper for the next PGA Major. For golf fans out there, you'll know who that is, and Brett Hot Chance. Good from you, Big Kiwi Nick. All right. You went a bit niche there, mate, to be fair. All right. Just in terms of players, so Teague Wilton very annoyingly sits there on the extended. Cecil Wangaline, late question, Simo. That gets tough. If you've had Burns, you've got Wilton, you're like, I need the win this week. Gee, I'd hate to drop Teague, but it could be a challenge.
You said you've got both. You own Burns and Wilson in that situation.
You've held Burns through last week, hoping you get another one. Yeah.
Oh, you're praying that Teague comes in, but yeah, if Teague misses out, and you need the win, then I guess you have to. I mean, by that point, you just got to wait and see. Like, there is a situation where there's lots of other good second rows that have been dropped as well. So if that's happened in your league, then it makes it a lot easier. But I mean, you prefer not to. Let's be real.
You would. I know that's one. Todd's is like, I own him, so I'm not dropping him. Just asking for others. Yeah, I hear you, mate. We love a bit of Teague. All right, and on to the last game of the round. Up the mighty Was.
Was, baby.
All right, they're playing out of their skin, just doing what they need to do. A lot of really good options this week. Halasima already in teams. There's Cody Capewell. Unlucky, to be honest, with Lindsay Collins getting picked. I think genuinely unlucky not to be there somewhere, given his versatility. I mean, he's been very good. He's been very good.
We were ragging him out last week.
I know. No, we weren't. Last week we gave him his kudos, mate. It was a bit further back we ragged.
I'll rag him out.
We said that, he played well, but he shouldn't be in Origin. It's not.
No.
But yes, Lindsay Collins getting name changes everything, doesn't it?
It does. Okay, so just checking. We had a Jacob Laban sighting, Todza. Got across, mate.
We did.
Looked good to see.
Did look good. Came off the bench. Played not a huge amount of minutes, though, unfortunately. You need him on the edge playing big men's. But good to see him back out there and doing it.
One that I don't really enjoy being right with, but I did mention the potential that Tane would be dropped and Roger returning to a wing. Horrible for Tane owners, can be dropped. Fantastic for Roger owners because he's named on a wing. So kind of shitty one to get right, to be honest. All right. I think that's really it, just looking through. Jackson Ford's been in and out of the side. If he's sitting out there, lads, in some deeper leagues, I think he's a decent shout this week too.
Solid enough.
Over to the Raiders. And look, I'm going to say that Huddy Young, form back rower in the competition, but Simi Sasangi just quietly, I'm glad he got over and scored. I think there's a bit about this guy. He is an absolute easy 1 week special for me. I'm all about this one. Simo, I see you nodding, mate.
Yeah, I kind of see what you see. I think it's tough because it's only been a small sample, but he's just got a little bit of, like, he's an ex-centre. So he's got that sort of that balance, and like a really poor man's like Britton Nakora at this point of his career. Like he's got that you can sort of see that comp where he's made that transition into a second row now with a bigger body. So kind of like it. If he ends up getting good minutes, he'll be an all right start this week.
Like it, Simo. I think that try that he scored is a pretty awesome way to debut on the try scoring account. That was a sick step.
Yeah.
All right. It's our year. Hashtag Toddy, says our boy Marky Mark.
Yeah, Marky gets
He's
it.
obviously talking about the Seagulls, so I don't know what you're on about. But anyway, yeah. Now, I am going to double down on a bit of love for someone who's not even here. But Meso bringing Xavier Savage in, obviously, because he's absolutely brained it last week with his first career hat-trick, he'll probably go out and score 12 this week. Could you get on him, Todd's, as a one-week special in the last game of the round?
Hell no. I could not sit here on this podcast and recommend Xavier Savage to anybody.
I've got one. I think he's a really good guy to just have, if you can pick him up as a free agent, have him on your team, right? Have a look how you're going early enough in the round if you set up. If your matchup's trending, you needed something in the last game of the round or even a big score, you whack him in there and hope for the best. I don't mind that one. All right.
What about KO Weeks for the same? He's going bonkers as well. KO Weeks, 5'8", fullback eligible.
Don't think there's many leagues that KO Weeks is available as a free agent, to be honest. But he's been braining it for a little while, big fella. Yeah. He's chipped one over the top. I think he's averaging like 80 over the last 3 weeks. So I think
magic round.
I think good luck if you can get him. If you can get KO Weeks, there's the scoop of the round. Go get him. Not too bad, dual eligible. Is he a guy we think will actually keep improving as the season goes on? I actually think yes. If people aren't believing, I think he's going to be. He's actually passing the ball a bit more, Simo, surprisingly.
Yeah, it's definitely a pebble patch for him. I don't think he'll be as bad as he's been, but I don't think he'll keep this level up either. So somewhere in the middle. And if you've got through the hard start of the year, then you can't be much worse than that. So yeah, things are looking up for KO.
Credit Tom Starling. Truth is, we're really seeing the man shine. He's been absolutely outstanding this year. That game on the weekend was just time. He was fantastic. I think borderline looks like a low. He's too small for it, but like I think as a guy that looked pretty good in a rep jersey in some way, he looked fantastic. God, he was good. Like
if City Country was still around, he'd be getting a run.
Oh, he'd be an absolute moral. And Simo, he reminds me of just like that Damien Cook. Now that he's got his rhythm, he just has that Damien Cook vibe early in the career. I love watching him. All right, so we said to Sungy, Morgan Smith, he keeps trying to get that first try, boys. It'll be similar to the twirl when he gets over, except it'll be
Smithies, yeah. What a guy.
What a ripper.
Yeah.
Zach Hosking, just looking outstanding as a pickup. He is going to be fantastic. Please stay fit, mate. Come on. All right, boys. There are the teams. That was good fun. Cecil Wangaline bringing it to us. Really quickly, Todd, before we go to the questions, mate, quick wrap up of the Listener League. We've had some demand for that.
Well, and quickly,
welcome to the listeners who've just tuned in late with the numbers of spiked there at the end. Good to see.
All right. Last week in the Listener League, Big Simo got pumped. Get it up here by Puff Daddies. Put work to him. I got towed up by Shred after giving him some shit last week. So egg on my face. Simfer Carrigan puts up a decent score against the Baconators, who are struggling. White and Wong gets a win over Conrad and the Holmes and Watsons. Really cheeky win there, but that's nice for him. Willie Armies go down to BDE Chris, who puts up a 778, which is nice. Baxter's boys take a loss to the Middle East. So I do have the table here too, boys. I know I'm pretty prepared this week. So
yeah,
table is as follows. Yes, table is as follows. BDE Chris, top of the log, 9 wins. Behind him, Simo and myself on 8 wins. Simfer Carrigan in 4th. The Middle East 5th. Shred after his win against me, Yadug, in the 6th. Willie Army 7, Puff Daddy's 8, Holmes and Watson 9, Baxter's boys 10, and the bottom of the table, White and Wong and the Kevin Baconators. So yeah, shout out to those boys.
Good stuff, Todd. And I'll just say I didn't even use Bill as my A this week, so it's running good. Good to be at the top. Dream the dream, mate. Now we'll stay with you, Todd. Cool Kid 2013 has come in. He said Newcastle downfall will feed NRL fans for generations. I mean, you're waltz in here. I've never heard of you, and you come up with this stuff.
This guy can hang around.
Far out. Oh, Razzle. Okay. Apparently, I'm competent from all sides, even inadvertently. Razzle, number one fan of Simo. Thanks for the Roddy shout, Simo. I'll throw a claim and hope for the best. You. That's
Very
good.
good.
Bravo, Razzle. That's very good from you, mate. Thank you as well, Cool Kid.
very
It's good
good.
fun. We love the bants, mate. I'm a glutton for punishment. Look at this old kit I've got on today for my beloved Knights. You're welcome to keep razzing me as much as you like, mate. Good on ya. Who do you support, Cool Kid? Love to know, mate. All right. Questions, boys. Do we have a few? So we'll go to you, Sim. I've mixed it up. Get away from Todder for a bit.
Going from the Todd, I think we've only got. Well, we had that one earlier, but we've already touched on it. I think there was one. But rest of season. Oh, he's a Para fan. Very
Para, says Cool Kid 2013. I love the Brave
Speaking of
bets,
downfall,
mate. Yeah, it's the Brave bets, but we did get done by him pretty easily the other day, so good luck, old son. Good to have you aboard, mate. All right, Timo. G'day, Cool.
Rest of season. Oh, yeah, this is from Kero.
Kero, g'day.
Okay, Kero.
There you go. Season-long 2RF. Burbo, Jack Williams, or Finny Fuliaki?
I'm going to go in early because I still feel Finney. I still think Finney is the one. I know that sounds crazy, but I actually do think it's him.
Jay Wills, Finney, Burbo.
In that order for you, Todd?
Yeah, I'll go Finny Fuliaki, Jack Williams, Burbo.
Yep, in that order. I do like the cut of Jack Williams' jib. That's a good early shout from you, Todzer. I love his footwork. I just wish he has an history of dropping the ball at Cronulla, and I'm waiting for it to pop up again, but can move well. Nice. Thank you, Kero. Todzer, anything for us, old son?
Yeah, we've already answered the IPAP one. Vance, he says, is it time to send Graham, I assume that's Campbell Graham, to the waiver? Man can't score a try. Man's not hot.
Yeah,
you can send him to the waiver?
Yeah, you don't have to hold Graham. I know he looked great. I get it. I do think that he might go on a bit of a surge, Tots, but just with the bye, mate, I don't think he's holdable as a CT dub, personally.
That's fair. I'm on the other side of that. What do you say, Simon?
What's that? You're on the other side?
Yeah, I think Cameron Graham brains it for the rest of the year. I'd be holding. That's just me. I understand why people would drop him. That's just how I feel about him going forward.
Yeah, right. Outside of Kalaamatangi and Latrell, I'd probably drop every South player.
I think Humphreys because of scarcity will hang on. But
he can't drop Quadzilla. Holy dilly. Another one here from the Book of Face is from our boy Marky. He says, podcast, given Tommy Turbo is playing on the bye week, even though seemingly injured, will the attention to him possibly elevate the other outside backs to score, or is Simpkin too much of a simp? It's right. Yeah, I'm all about that, Marky. Too much of a simp.
Work. That's not bad. Timo?
I'm trying to
What's the question?
Can Tommy Turbo elevate the rest of the backs?
Yeah, he tends to do that. Yes. Yeah, he does.
Pretty much, can we greenlight? Can you greenlight him, Simo, this week? Can you greenlight Sub? I think that's really the question I think is being asked here.
Start every Manly back against Parramatta.
Yeah, I like it. Good advice. Good question.
Yeah.
Why did that amuse us so much? Oh, my God.
Yeah, I've heard it before, but it still got me again. Very good by Marky, but that is all the questions from the Book of Face, mate.
Beautiful. All right, lads, good bit of fun. Obviously get very pumped up for Origin. Kind of don't enjoy the matchups in terms of the lack of footy and some of the players missing, but it is satisfying to get a win in a bye round. I mean, Simo, I can't believe you and I aren't playing each other in our league of record. That we usually come up against each other with shithouse weekend sides. So good change for us, old son.
Yeah. No, I'm sure it'll bloody come along at some stage in the near future. Don't you worry about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the bye rounds. Yeah, they're not sexy. Let's be real. Like they are tough watches in real life as well. Take these good players out, and the product definitely is diminished. But yep, it's just like us personally. We'd rather be playing SuperCoach than not. So it's not everyone's cup of tea, and I get that. So
I love it, mate.
If you're playing it, if you're not playing the buys and you're here, well, good on you. But if you are playing them, hopefully you can get something out of it.
Cool Kid, 2013. has offered, mark my words, with the origin period, Bailey Hayward will be the buy of this period. I don't hate it. I think we gave him a good shout earlier as someone that should definitely be started and owned. Just thinking Kurt Mann, though, if not 18th man, does put that into slightly more questionable territory because named 13, right, lads? Because Burton, not 18th man finally, which is a huge win for Burton owners.
Yeah, massive for them.
Yeah. Do we any just quick comments?
Kurt Mann won't play this week.
He'll be 18, right?
Yeah. So Bailey Hayward's a decent enough start because he should be locked into that role now.
Hey, see what we did there. Nice, mate. Good stuff. Unintentional pun. Quality.
Yeah.
All right.
Just
tickle Todd's fancy. I love that. Yeah, mate, go.
Oh, just for those leagues out there that have the flex position, just a bit of a strategy chat. Like if you got players playing in the last game of the round, try to have your flex player be one of those guys. Don't burn your flex early.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, going back to what you said earlier about Xavier Savage, Christopher, you said like you'd have him in your side. Then if you need the upside, you'd play him. And if you thought you were home, you could play a more sort of stable option. If you've got Savage in your flex in that situation, then you want to drop in for someone else, you can literally choose any position you want if that's your flex.
Yeah, I like that.
Whereas if you've burnt your flex earlier in the week, someone on like even the Thursday, Friday game, you don't have that option. So it's pretty obvious when you say that loud. It's called flex for a reason. Be flexible. So try to put your last whatever day of the week it is. You might not have any players on Sunday, but if you've got last game on Saturday players, try to choose one of those as your flexes if you can. Just give you those few more options.
There it is, sports fans. That's the best draft expertise we're looking for. Oh, yeah. Beautiful. All right. That's good stuff. I think as well, listeners, we're getting a good, loyal following each week. Tell your fam, tell your friends to tune in if they want a bit of good SuperCoach with the banter and like who wouldn't want to hang with these two lads in front of us here. So like and subscribe, please, if you can. Give us some comments. Fire away on both. The handle, Simo, what is it again, sir, please? For X?
It's a bit of a weird one. It's at BDE _ NRL _ podcast.
Yep, good man.
It's probably easier if you just search for BDE podcast.
Yep, fair call. And obviously on our Book of Face or Facebook page. Todd, thank you very much, good sir.
Thanks, mate. It's been a pleasure, and I'm looking forward to this weekend and otherwise, baby.
Yeah, boy. Simo, good to see you, mate. And I should have mentioned earlier the haircut looking mighty sharp, I must say.
Yeah.
Mate, the old $15 job at the quick cuts.
Yeah, boy.
That's what you want.
I've done well. He's
He'll
back.
back.
He's a handsome rooster. All right, listeners, thank you to those who've tuned in. Look at the great questions we've had. Welcome to those new folks that have joined us. And as always, listeners, get that BDE India. Oh, yeah.